What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Evan and I make videos about hot stocks, dividends, and options. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different and actually look at Palantir stock. And we're going to go over what Palantir does, why ARK Invest is actually adding more shares of Palantir almost every day to their ETFs. And we're also going to go over why they could continue rising and why this slight pullback that they've had doesn't really mean anything in the long run. But before we jump into the video, if you guys wouldn't mind going down and hitting the like button, it really does help out the channel and it lets me know that you guys enjoy these weekday updates for these stocks. So make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoy these updates. But looking at Palantir stock today, they're actually up over 10%. And I don't think this really is coming as a surprise to many people because Palantir actually did drop quite a bit in the last few days. Because if we actually look at the 1 week, Palantir is down over 20%. And you can see the last few days especially, they've been red every day for the past few days here. And so to see a green day finally, I don't think it really is coming as a surprise to people. But the reason why Palantir was down so much these past few days is because there's been a lot of people actually shorting Palantir. If you guys are aware of Citron Research, they actually shorted NEO as well and said NEO wasn't worth anywhere near what they were trading for. And they also kind of went after Palantir, and they actually said Palantir would drop around 30% in the next few weeks to the next few months. And that's exactly what we saw happen, because if we look at the 1 month, we can see Palantir hit right around $30 as their high, and they pulled all the way back down under $22 a share. So to go from $30 almost down to $20 per share is almost that 30% drop that they were talking about. But obviously now we're seeing Palantir kind of recover from that short report. But now to kind of dive deeper into the analytical side of Palantir, here I have Webull pulled up, and if you guys aren't familiar with Webull, if you guys actually sign up using the link in the description, you'll get 4 free stocks when you sign up and deposit $100. And in my opinion, if you're a trader that likes to use tools at your disposal, Webull is going to be a great platform for you, and they give you a lot more stuff to work with as compared to Robinhood. But now taking a look at Palantir, you can see that they're right around that $24 to $25 area. And I don't think this came as a surprise to see them pull back to here. And they also pulled all the way back to the $22 range and they dipped slightly below that. Because if we look here, we can see they were kind of consolidating right around $22 to $22.50. And if we go back into the past, you can see that this was previous support here, right around $22.30. They had bounced off this a few times and it was resistance once or twice as well. So I don't think it came as a surprise too much to see them pull back to that $22 range. And we could actually see them pull back even more if they do dip down again. If we scroll out a little bit more here, we can see this area right here, right around $21 could be another support line because this was their low recently. And then they also tested it in the past as resistance and support here. So we could see them pull back to 21 if they continue dropping, but it looks like they're recovering somewhat and they're going to continue going up now. And I think the next area of resistance is going to be right around $27 because you can see they were somewhat consolidating around $27 to $27.50 here. And then once they can get past that $27 area and maybe consolidate around that for a little while, then we should see them continue up and they could test those highs that they hit before. But now to kind of go over exactly what Palantir does. They're mostly an AI and technology company, and they don't explain exactly what they do word for word in layman's terms because they are kind of secretive and they don't want people knowing exactly what they do. But here it says, at Palantir, we build software that lets organizations integrate their data, their decisions, and their operations into one platform. And their software empowers entire organizations to answer complex questions quickly by bringing the right data to the people who need it. And they're also big on preventing people from getting data if they shouldn't have that kind of data. And if we look at their privacy here, it says that they were founded on the conviction that it's essential to preserve fundamental principles of privacy and civil liberties while using data. And it says, from our roots in counterterrorism to our current work spanning the public, private, and nonprofit sectors, we've delivered software that incorporates principles of privacy by design. So you guys can probably understand what I was talking about, how they don't exactly explain word for word what they do, and it's kind of hard to understand exactly what they do. But in a little bit, we're going to kind of go over in layman's terms what they do more in depth. so you guys can get a better understanding if you guys aren't familiar with Palantir. But now actually moving into ARK Invest, and they're actually buying Palantir almost on a daily basis and adding to their internet ETF. So if you guys aren't familiar with ARK, they basically expose themselves to next generation companies. And for this specific ETF, they're exposing themselves to next generation internet companies, which includes artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and blockchain technology. So they're basically buying all kinds of companies to create this ETF of companies that they expect to kind of explode in the future and the companies that are going to be the future. So you can almost say that they're investing in companies like Apple and companies like that before they really became known as Apple and before they exploded. ARK's goal is to kind of get in on these companies before they have these big surges upwards. But this website here is lucidtracking.com, and they basically allow you as an investor to look up the different companies that ARK is investing in. And you can look up when they're adding shares to different ETFs of theirs. So if we go up here to the top and we search for Palantir, we can see that Palantir is brought up here, but if we actually scroll down some, we can see what Palantir is adding to their ETF funds and how many shares of different companies they're adding. So here we specifically looked up Palantir, so we can see exactly how many shares they're adding on a daily basis of Palantir to their internet ETF. So as of today on December 3rd, this hasn't been updated yet, so we don't know if they added shares today or not. But yesterday they didn't buy any shares, but on December 1st they added more shares. And you can see here what their buy or sell was. And on their shares, you can see the total amount of shares that ARK has of the specific company that you look up. So you can see that ARK is investing in over 1 million shares of Palantir. They have 1.13 million shares of Palantir in their internet ETF right now. But now to kind of go over why Palantir could continue rising and why they're actually a company that should be worth a lot more in the future, and also kind of going over what they do more in layman's terms. It says here that they were founded in 2003, and Palantir initially focused on building sophisticated analytics and AI systems for the US government. And they used these systems to track down terrorists or enemies in Afghanistan and Iraq. And while a lot of these activities have remained confidential, there's a lot of buzz around Palantir's technologies, and there was a lot of rumors that they helped in finding Osama bin Laden. But since then, they've expanded beyond just helping the government, and they're actually across many industries, including healthcare, energy, and manufacturing. But in terms of money, in the third quarter earnings report, Palantir actually posted a 52% jump in revenue, up to almost $290 million. Now, there was a raise for the full year guidance up to $1 billion, which was up 44% year over year. And so they are growing, but they're yet to break into the profits yet. And they have been around for quite a while, so there are people arguing that if they haven't become profitable yet, that they're never going to. But they're also making these huge deals with different corporations, including things like the US Army. And they're also going to be using their AI and machine learning to improve military planning and defense operations. And they're also right now helping with the pandemic and helping with cancer and virus research. So they pretty much help with all aspects that technology can help with and that different softwares can help with. From tracking down terrorists to helping with hurricanes or even with cancer. When they implement their software, they can pretty much help with anything, it seems like. Now, the biggest thing that people are kind of worried about with Palantir is that their evaluation shows that they're way overvalued right now. Their shares are actually trading at 47 times their revenue. And we've seen this with other stocks, of course. And so that's part of the reason why we have these big research firms like Citron Research shorting Palantir and saying that they're not worth what they're trading for. And I think people wouldn't disagree with that. I think people are all in agreement that a stock like this that's 47 times their revenue is way overvalued. But just like any other stock, they're going to trade for what people think they're worth and what people think they're going to be worth in the future. The actual market opportunity for a company like Palantir is estimated at a whopping $119 billion. So that would definitely put them on the radar of a lot of big funds and a lot of big investors who maybe haven't heard of Palantir yet. And it would give them a lot more exposure to different investors that haven't heard of them yet. But in the space that Palantir is in right now, they have such a lead over any competition that wants to compete with them that it would take their rivals a lot of time to even catch up. It would be years before they would be where Palantir is right now, because Palantir's been working on their company for around 2 decades, and they've been developing this technology to where it would be hard for any competition to even catch up in the near future. Now, for those of you who made it this far into the video, I want to hear if you guys are investing in Palantir or if you guys have even heard of them before now. I kind of want to hear what you guys think of Palantir down in the comments and whether you guys have been invested in them or if you guys are maybe planning on investing in them after you do some more research. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Lastly, if you guys haven't signed up for Webull, make sure you guys sign up and deposit $100 to get 4 free stocks now. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.